Hello and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. I am Lydia Odijochi. Thank you for joining us. This broadcast is being streamed live on our website nta.ng/live and other social media handles displayed on your screen. Now the details. New banknotes of the nation's currency, the Naira, has been formally unveiled. President Muhammadu Buhari performed the official launch of the redesigned 200, 500 and 1,000 Naira notes denominations with immense pride and satisfaction. He said the need to take control of the nation's currency in circulation as well as address the hoarding of Naira banknotes outside the banking system is urgent. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has details.
Flanked by the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Minister of State for Budget and National Planning, Managing Director, Nigerian Security, Printing and Minting PLC, as well as the Chairman of the EFCC and ICPC, President Muhammadu Buhari formally presents to the public the new Naira banknotes. This is coming almost 20 years since the last major redesign of the nation's currency.
Thank you very much.
Apart from improving the security of banknotes, mitigating, counterfeiting, and preserving the collective national heritage, the action will also help in controlling the nation's currency in circulation.
The new Naira banknotes have been fortified with security features that make it difficult to counterfeit. These new banknotes will help the central bank design and implement better monetary policy objectives. They will also enrich our collective memory of Nigeria's heritage.
Printed locally with immense pride by the Nigerian Security Printing and Minting PLC, the redesigned currencies of 200, 500, and 1,000 Naira banknotes have features of enhanced security, greater durability, attractiveness, and the nation's rich heritage.
A majority of African countries print their currencies abroad and import them the way we import other goods. Let me thank the Governor of the Central Bank and his deputies for this initiative. I also thank the Managing Director, Executive Directors, and staff of the Nigerian Security Printing and Minting for working tirelessly with the Central Bank to make the currency redesign a reality and for printing the new Naira notes within a comparatively short time.
The Governor of the CBN, Gordon Emefiele, attributed the ability of the nation's apex bank to initiate sound policies that positively impact Nigerians and support economic growth, such as the redesign of the nation's currency, to the independence of the CBN.
The independence of the Central Bank of Nigeria, though codified in our law, would not have been possible without the full and total support of President Muhammadu Buhari, who has made this policy initiative possible and successful. Indeed, Mr. President, only, and I repeat, only a president of your esteemed and incorruptible stature could have done what we are witnessing today.
The currency management in Nigeria has over the years been facing several challenges with unintended consequences for the integrity of the country, amongst which is a significant hoarding of banknotes by members of the public, with statistics showing that 2.72 trillion naira out of the 3.6 trillion naira currency in circulation as at June this year was outside the vaults of the banking system.
This policy will help to control inflation, as the exercise will bring the hoarded currency back into the banking system, help in increasing financial inclusion, moving towards a more cashless economy, and ensuring greater formalization of the Nigerian economy. The currency redesign would assist in the fight against corruption, as the exercise would rein in the higher denomination used for corruption, and the movement of such funds from the banking system could be tracked easily by the relevant security agencies.
The launch of the new banknotes, the governor said, will also help with better design and implementation of monetary policy, as the nation will have much more accurate data on money supply and monetary aggregates. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
In the meantime, President Muhammadu Buhari has written to the Senate seeking confirmation of 15 nominees as chairman and members of the Niger Delta Development Commission. The request has Loretta Onoche as chairman with 14 others as members. The president's letter also sought the consideration of the commission's 2021, 2022 and 2023 budgets.
Loretta Ifanyi Onoche, Chairman, Delta State. Chief Dr. Samuel Ogbuku, Managing Director for a term of 2 years to complete the unexpired term of his predecessor in office. Delta State, South.
Re-imaging tertiary education in Nigeria. Issues, challenges and solutions was a topic of discourse at an education summit convened to find ways out of recurring industrial impasse in Nigeria's public universities. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
It is a gathering of lawmakers, policymakers and stakeholders from the education sector. The recently resolved ASU strike action that lasted 8 months was what gave the push for this meeting, convened by the Speaker, House of Representatives Femi Gbajabiamila, to restore sanity in Nigeria's ivory towers.
Education is a commodity, and a quality education even more so. Therefore, the central public policy challenge is the conflict between the competing objectives of access and quality. How do we fund a quality tertiary education without imposing costs that make access to quality education impossible for most people?
We obviously have no option but to continue on this path of the resolutions because of the crucial roles that tertiary institutions play in the molding of the nation's human capacity.
The summit is intended to x-ray the issues at stake and bring forth innovations to reform public tertiary education.
Funding of our tertiary institutions is undoubtedly the underlying reason for their decline, and is very apposite that we begin to seek effective and sustainable funding mechanisms for our tertiary institutions.
Education is not the responsibility of government alone. Education is the responsibility of all. If you leave education in the hands of government alone, you are making a mistake.
It is hoped that recommendations from this summit will modernize tertiary education through the implementation of practical options. Lami Ali, NTA News.
The House of Representatives has initiated a legislative intervention to address the issue of out-of-school children in Nigeria. A bill to that effect passed second reading during plenary Wednesday, sponsored by Balarabe Kakali. The bill seeks the establishment of a national commission for Almajiri education and out-of-school children. It made provisions for a multimodal system of education to tackle the menace of illiteracy by developing acquisition of skills to prevent youth poverty, destitution, and delinquency in Nigeria. The fact that oil, also known as black gold, fuels global and Nigeria's economy resonates across the value chains now for the people of Gombe and Bauchi states. There is high optimism that the black gold will soon be fueling their economy and empowering their unemployed as well. Lydia Sampson reports on the already unfolding impact and the people's expectations.
Crude oil converted into petrol and diesel fuels various modes of transportation and the movement of goods and people around the globe, contributing to global wealth growth. 30-year-old Isa Musa is one of those employed as a security man at the site of the ongoing oil drilling in Kulmani. Though grateful that he's finally and gainfully employed, he says his dream is to further his education to perfect his abilities.
My dream is to further my education to take advantage of the good things happening here.
His optimism of better future resonates with others here, even though they are doing menial jobs at the moment. This is a Christmas tree. It's right on top of the well, and beneath this, thousands of feet, lies pool of hydrocarbon. And with this kickoff, the story of this community and environment certainly will never be the same again. The groundbreaking by President Muhammadu Buhari, kickstarting oil drilling in Kulmani, is expected to be the key to unlocking the future Isa Musa and others like him envisage for their children. For key players here, it is time to harness the hydrocarbon buried beneath the soil.
As a typical any project, there's a high employment level during the construction phase. So we are looking at the peak of over 3,000 people at a particular stage. Subsequently, we'll be looking about over 1,000 sustainable jobs.
It is also a symbol of resilience, patience, hard work, tenacity. And this has all paid off after so many years.
The commencement of oil drilling work at Kulmani between Bauchi and Gombe states, experts say, will monetize over 1 billion barrel crude oil deposit in the OPLS 809 and 810 at the Kulmani field site in Bauchi and Gombe states. From Gombe State, Lydia Sams, NTA News.
Report just reaching us say the Federal Executive Council has approved the validation, adoption, and extension of the National Anti-Corruption Strategy Document 2022 to 2026. This is aimed at sustaining and enhancing the renewed onslaught against corruption and other acts of economic sabotage in the country. Attorney General and Minister of Justice Malami Abubakar Malami announced this while briefing journalists after the council's meeting. We shall bring you details subsequently. Let's now join Michael in Lagos, who is standing by with more reports. Hello, Michael.
Thank you, Lydia. A lot of expectations is riding on the just unveiled redesigned Naira notes. A cross-section of Lagos residents who spoke hours after President Muhammadu Buhari unveiled the new notes at the Federal Executive Council meeting in Abuja expressed hope that the initiative will indeed help to spread wealth while curbing money laundering. Adenita will post.
It is barely 5 hours after President Muhammadu Buhari unveiled the new Naira notes before I took to the streets of Lagos to get reactions.
We are looking forward to unveil it.
It has been unveiled. Looking forward to
see it.
Yes, I heard about it, but I've not seen it.
And if I want to see it, I feel like seeing it next month.
Judging from their reactions, it is clear that most of my respondents are yet to see the redesigned note, but they all knew about the advantages attached to the move by the central bank and are really waiting for them to come to pass.
It's good because of those people that kept keeping money at home, that they cannot help someone. They will just keep the money at home. It's good for them.
The people that hold money somewhere should bring it out so that the money can circulate for the poor masses.
The country is developing, so probably the design will be making more sense than the old ones.
After a lot of debates over the decision of the Central Bank of Nigeria to issue redesigned 200, 500 and 1,000 Naira notes, it is here now at last and will serve as Nigeria's new legal tender alongside existing notes till January 31, 2023. In Lagos, Adeni Itawo, NTA News.
The Secretary General of the International Maritime Organization, IMO, Kitak Lim, has commended Nigeria for its leadership style and effectiveness in implementing the organization's relevant conventions geared at promoting safety, security, and efficiency, which are the cardinal principles of the shipping industry. This was while on a visit to the Regional Rescue Coordination Center in Lagos. Behind the scam water was once upon a time the tales of kidnapping, vessel hijacking, and oil bunkering. But now, Nigeria has taken possession of its international water down to the Gulf of Guinea, courtesy of the Deep Blue platform. The good news here is not just limited to pegging maritime crimes to zero since 2021, but extended to being the choice location for siting of the Regional Maritime Rescue Coordination Center covering 9 African countries. This is the first time in 15 years a Secretary General from the IMO will be visiting, and the purpose this time is tilted towards supporting the feats achieved so far, while equally calling for greater efforts in the quest to sustain the shipping business. The Secretary General was obviously satisfied with the progress of Nigeria in promoting the maritime sector.
I'm looking forward to further advance more development and the progress of the MASA and the Transport Ministry of Nigeria.
The regulatory agency said in addition to strengthening security, it is taking steps to build maritime capacity, focusing on research, training, and human development.
We have 6 skill acquisition centers all over Nigeria, 1 per geopolitical zone.
Minister of Transportation believes the Deep Blue platform has not only written the name of Nigeria in gold when it comes to maritime security, but placed the country in vantage position to aspire.
I am sure the Secretary General is going back to London better informed than when he came here. By the grace of God, next year, Nigeria is going to clinch that council seat.
Although the Secretary General of the IMO has since returned to the headquarters of the organization in London, but the encouragement for Nigeria is the testimonies confirming that it is on the right path.
Do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen for updates. More stories from Benin with Ogochukwuka shortly after this break. Please stay.
Daria Media, in association with Cabal Entertainment, presents The Candidate, a presidential town hall meeting series where the presidential candidates of the 6 leading political parties tell us about their plans for the country. Join Kadaria Ahmed as she leads us into the world of these candidates from the 17th to the 23rd of November 2022. This very important program will be streamed on FRCN, Radio Now, DSTV, NTA, Facebook, YouTube, and more. This is a town hall meeting you shouldn't miss. Tune in. Let's hear from the candidates.
This is the moment we've been waiting. It's time to rise up, do it again. Africa, do your dance now. God, do your winning dance now. So we never lose it again. Oh, yeah. Africa rise up, yes we gon' rise up. Africa rise up, Africa rise up, yes we gon' rise up. Africa rise up.
The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) hereby informs the general public that the preliminary register of voters will be displayed for public scrutiny in all registration areas, wards nationwide from Saturday 12th to Friday 18th November 2022. The preliminary register of voters will also be displayed on the Commission's official website. INEC will address the claims, objections, and complaints arising from the public scrutiny of the register at registration areas, wards from Saturday 12th to Friday 18th November 2022 and at INEC local government offices from Saturday 19th to Friday 25th November 2022. All registered voters are advised to cross-check their details in the register. Any voter whose name and personal particulars are incorrect can file a claim. Furthermore, the public can file objections against any name wrongfully included in the register. This message is from the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. The need to reset the nation's education system has again been brought to the fore. Governor Godwin Obaseki, while receiving 47 senior officers from the Armed Forces Command and Staff College, Aji, attributes high rate of youth unemployment to faulty education system. Elizabeth Omoko reports.
The 47 senior officers, with 2 from Liberia, are on Nigeria Study Tour 2022 with the theme Youth Employment and National Security. It is part of the curriculum for the senior course of the Commander Staff College. They are in Edo State as one of the selected states across the country. Leader of the delegation, Air Commodore Chidebere Obiabakwa, commended Governor Gordon Obaseki for his development initiatives, which has helped in reducing crime in the state.
The students are therefore here to know particularly about the efforts of the state government in addressing youth unemployment and how these efforts contribute to the overall national security.
For Governor Gordon Obaseki, the theme of the Nigeria Study Tour is art, as it is coming at a time the nation's education system is faced with lack of production training.
Basic education is free and compulsory. So you're supposed to revisit 6 years of primary and then make another 3 years of juniors. So by the time you leave junior school, even if you don't have an opportunity to further your education, you have skills. You have, you'll be prepared for life.
In another engagement, Governor Obaseki formally received the new Commissioner of Police, Mohammed Dankwara. He attributes the key to security success of any state to collaboration and cooperation with other security agencies. The governor and the commissioner promised synergizing to keep the state free of crime before, during, and after the U-tide and the electioneering. In Benin, Elizabeth Omoko, NTA News.
And now security. Attacks on critical national assets by vandals and economic saboteurs across the Niger Delta has been on the increase. Edo State Command of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, in its bid to profile lasting solution, had a one-day forum with communities and critical stakeholders in the state. Paul Omukagu has details.
Vandalism on critical national assets and crude oil theft has been a major challenge, with the federal government introducing new measures to combat economic sabotage. However, in spite of these efforts, there has been reported incidents of vandalism on these assets. This meeting by the NLCDC and key industry players is aimed at getting the commitment of communities hosting the facilities in taking ownership.
For the fact that NLCDC has been given the mandate to protect critical national assets, it becomes expedient for us to call ourselves together and then build capacities to be able to deliver this mandate.
Officials from the Edo State Ministry of Local Government, Community and Chieftaincy Affairs, as well as Mining and Energy, made useful contributions to tackling the challenge.
When you see the vandalization of any government property in your community, the first place to run to is to the civil defense and also straight to the police.
We need to collaborate with one another to ensure that these national assets, government facilities, infrastructures and all, they are protected.
Local security outfits and transporters in the localities also pledged their commitment in arresting the situation. The team for the interactive meeting focused on community partnership, the way to effective protection of critical national assets in Edo State. In Benin, Paulo Mukago, NTA News.
The next set of reports will be coming from Abuja as we return to Lydia. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Ogochukuka. Less than 100 days to 2023 general elections, leadership of the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, is urging political parties to be committed to Nigeria's unity and progress. Omenka Marachuku reports that the presidential candidates of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, and that of Labour Party, Peter Obi, featured in a program known as A Charter for Future Nigeria, organized by CAN.
The 2023 general election is yet another opportunity for Nigerians to exercise their franchise in deciding who takes the mantle of leadership at the center, considering the inclusiveness and interest of the nation in the political agenda. The Christian Association of Nigeria is leveraging on this by engaging the presidential candidates of the political parties to chart the way forward for a prosperous Nigeria.
But the idea of this interaction is to come together to review our understanding of the Nigerian crisis of development and governance and collectively find a lasting solution.
Presenting his roadmap for a better Nigeria, the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), Atiku Abubakar, said he is in the race to restructure Nigeria.
For you here, the campaign that you tell me what is true. What you have presented to us is what I have always believed in. And if I have the opportunity, I swear to God I will do it.
On his part, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, promised to fix Nigeria and improve on its economy.
Let me assure you, my commitment to this is total. I want to be given opportunity to hire young, energetic men and women and start solving this problem.
Other presidential candidates are expected to feature at the CAN interactive sections before the 2023 general elections. In Abuja, Omenka Marachuku, NTA News.
Still on the 2023 general elections, as it gathers momentum, women have shown commitment to use their numerical strength to vote fellow women and politicians whose agenda favor women development, and the women re-echoed their stand during a workshop to sensitize them to actively participate in elections and politics. Ngozi Technical will tell us more.
The competitiveness in Nigeria's political space is one that exposes the weak nature and vulnerability of women to withstand the masculinity that has dominated the scene over the years. To break the barrier and rewrite the narrative, the women have resolved to use what they have to get what they want, that is, their voting power. Hence, the essence of She for She initiative.
Vote the person that will help them, because this time around, having thrown our gender bills for the National Assembly, we must use our votes to vote wisely.
But you can see that we have very high number of women that own PVCs, and we just want to encourage women to come out and vote for women, to come out and take roles and participate in electioneering processes and politics in general.
The police and INEC officials were on ground to tutor the women against vote buying or selling, as well as possible harassment by security agents.
It's not going to disenfranchise anybody. INEC wants everybody to be involved in the electoral process.
Expectations of what the nature of security will be in 2023, and the stakeholders have consistently worked together to see that you have minimal challenges.
Armed with knowledge such as these, the women are of the opinion that the 2023 general elections will no longer be business as usual. Ngozi Technical, NTA News.
Women and persons living with disabilities have been encouraged to take advantage of the recent electoral reforms by INEC to participate actively in the 2023 general elections. Kenneth Nanim has more.
Mike Mekumo Gideon is physically challenged.
He is here to take advantage of the sensitization program on inclusiveness in the electoral process and governance by the National Orientation Agency. He narrates the ordeal he and his likes often go through in their efforts to be part of electioneering campaigns and beyond, and says he is now well equipped to make informed decisions in the political process going forward.
We are vulnerable to crisis, but then with the assurances we got today in this seminar, we are encouraged.
Most of the parties, they don't carry persons with disability alone in their parties constitutionally. There is just optional.
And the National Orientation Agency and partners are urging all persons, especially women and the fiscally challenged, to use the 2023 election as a litmus test in changing the narrative.
Giving up is not an option. The fact that they had it rough before, they've had it unsuccessful before, does not mean that it will be business as usual.
For the democratic process of Nigeria to be adjudged as inclusive, there is need for deliberate steps to be taken to ensure that people living with disabilities participate fully in electoral processes.
It is the hope that political parties and relevant stakeholders will adhere to the provisions of the new Electoral Law of 2022 to ensure that the likes of Mike are not disenfranchised. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
You're still watching Nationwide. Let's go now to join Abubakar Musa in Maiduguri for more reports. Abubakar?
It's interesting to see you, Lydia, and thank you for joining us in Maiduguri. Professor Babagana Umar Zulum has inaugurated All Progressive Congress Unit Committee members for Jeri local government area with a call on party members to unite and work for the success of the forthcoming 2023 general elections. The occasion, held at the Government House, Maiduguri, also featured presentation of 25 campaign vehicles and 40 million naira provided by a member representing Jeri at the Federal House of Representatives, Satomi Ahmed. Mohammed Guni will now bring us more details of the story.
The 25 campaign vehicles procured by the member representing Jeri at the House of Representatives, Satomi Ahmed, were symbolically presented to the leadership of the top wards of Jeri local government by Governor Bagana Umara. Governor Bagana Umara, who inaugurated the unit's committee officials, noted the giant strides made by the present administration in the areas of security, healthcare services, and developmental projects, among others, with a pledge to do more if given the mandate in the 2023 general elections. He also assured to carry along all aspirants who contested into various positions and further informs the gathering of a plan for youth empowerment program and support for other less privileged in Jeri. Member representing Jeri at the House of Representatives, Satomi Ahmed, highlighted the developmental strides made by the Governor Zulum administration in Jeri within the last 3.5 years. He assured Governor Zulum and other APC leadership that Jeri will produce about 200,000 votes in favor of the party. State chairman of the APC, Ali Bukar Dalori, who charged the newly inaugurated unit officials to live up to expectations, also expressed need for awareness campaign and sensitization of the electorate on the new method of voting adopted by INEC. Borno Central Senatorial candidate Barrister Kakashew Lawan and Jeri State constituency Abba Kyari Kolo lauded the developmental strides and the people-oriented approach to governance of Governor Zulum and prayed for success of the APC and peaceful conduct of the 2023 election. Jeri local government APC chairman Ali Kachalla thanked Governor Zulum for touching the lives of the citizenry in all aspects and appreciated Satomi Ahmed for his support to the party and the provision of 25 campaign vehicles. In Maiduguri, Mohammed Goni, NTA.
Away from that now to tell you that 1,000 Sangha teachers and pupils across Borno State are benefiting from 3-week skill acquisition development program in order to make them self-reliant. Organized by the Borno State Arabic and Sangha Education Board in collaboration with Universal Basic Education Commission, participants are undergoing training on tailoring, livestock and fish farming. Yagum Subukar will now tell us more.
Flagging off the 4 weeks intensive training for Sangha teachers and pupils, Borno State Governor Professor Babagana Umarazun represented implored the trainees that government will continue to support the Sangaya system of education and urged the participants to use the knowledge acquired to be self-reliant. Executive Secretary, Universal Basic Education Commission, represented by Abdullahi Jama, says the commission deems it necessary to train Sangaya teachers some skills to earn other means of livelihood. Borno State Commissioner for Education, Engineer Lawan Abba Wakilbe, affirmed that 4 schools have already been handed over to the Sangaya board for utilization by Sangaya teachers. Chief Imam of Borno Zannalesu Ibrahim Ahmad, Acting Head of Service Barrister Malam Fannami, Chairman Borno State Arabic and Sangaya Education Board Khalifa Abdul Fathi, and the Executive Secretary of the board Ali Kaka all extolled the leadership qualities of Borno State Governor in reviving the fallen standard of education and urged participants to be good ambassadors of Islam, as well as use the knowledge and the kits that will be given to them at the end of the training to start up businesses of their own. Chairman Borno State Sangaya Association Gonilaon Gonizarami appreciated Borno State government for giving them the opportunity to acquire skills, promising not to let government down. The 4 weeks intensive training is simultaneously taking place in Biu local government area of Borno State for the Southern Zone. In Maiduguri, Yagum Subukar, NTA News.
And those are the latest stories at this time from Maiduguri. Let's now take a commercial break, but Lydia in Abuja would be back with another set of stories for us thereafter.
Nigerians, elections are here again. Let us shun violence. Let us play the game according to the rules. Do not be a thug. Say no to violence. Let's rise and defeat violence, crime, and sabotage against the peace of our nation. Nigeria is the only country we have. We must do everything to keep it united. We must avoid any act that promotes hate and disintegration. Say no to separatist movement, terrorism, fake news, hate speech, religious bigotry, and any act that tends to divide us as a nation. Watch out for strange gatherings and suspicious movements. Restrict access to sensitive documents and data, the disclosure of which may damage national security. Educate your staff and family, particularly on measures to safeguard information and report security breaches. Apply relevant legal security guidelines to protect yourself and your neighbors. Due to misinformation and wrong choices, some idle persons resort to vices in their greed to get rich quick. They resort to kidnapping, killings for rituals, and other heinous crimes. Avoid wrong use of the social media. Before you broadcast that false message, think twice. Ask whether it will promote peace or violence. For safety at home, still be security conscious. Educate your household on safety tips. Report all suspicious movements and persons to the security agencies nearest to you. Be a good citizen. Be patriotic. To pass security information, please call 0813-222-2105, 0915-339-1309, 0908-837-3514, or send a mail to dsspr@dss.gov.ng. This message is from the Department of State Services, DSS.
Now, what could make someone set out on a journey and not get to his or her destination? Now, imagine the victim who cannot reach out to these responders, who doesn't even have the phone to reach out. Hello, thank you very much for joining us on platform. I'm Ruth Agwe.
And the girl, especially if the girl is a minor, she's not yet 18 years, if she gets pregnant, realize that such girl is sent out of school and the boy is left in school.
Just to pick the call.
So how much sensitization is there, Paris?
I don't agree. A lot of people are just deaf.
Thank you for staying with us. Federal government, ministries, departments, and agencies are currently assessing how best to deliver on their role in the implementation of 2021-2025 Medium-Term National Development Plan. The Economic Development and Growth Plan is being jointly driven by public and private sectors, Bosede Abel was at the roundtable discussion held in Abuja and now reports.
Nigeria's Development Plan 2021 to 2025 seeks to mobilize 348.1 trillion naira worth of investments, with the 3 tiers of government expected to contribute 49.7 trillion naira, while the private sector will contribute 298.3 trillion naira. Leveraging on the organized private sector and actualizing this plan is the reason why speakers at this roundtable discussion stressed the need for policy as the bedrock for development, buttressing the challenges that hinders private sector contributions.
So the policy document is supposed to be like a guide for you developing your own money. You refer to it. The also the government is happening infrastructure company. So price you take.
By 2025, the effective implementation of the plan is expected to achieve average economic growth of 4.6%. The expectation is that cumulatively, it would have lifted 35 million people out of poverty and created 21 million full-time jobs.
Today's event provides an opportunity to move on from dialogue to action and pave way for new private sector to thrive and resuscitate the economy.
This event was organized by the Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning arm. The ministry intends to make the meeting into a routine exercise holding regularly as the years progresses. That way, stakeholders can harmonize objectives within the public and private sectors to meet the sustainable development goals by 2030. In Abuja, Boss said able. NTA News.
Following the removal of Brigadier General Mohammed Kaku Fada as Director General National Youth Service Corps by President Muhammadu Buhari, Director Press and Public Relations Eddie Megwa in a statement said Christy Uba, Director Information and Communications Technology, the most senior director in the scheme, has taken over the leadership of the Corps in acting capacity pending the appointment of a substantive Director General by Mr. President. Artificial intelligence now plays a major role in addressing security challenges with less casualties on the part of security personnel. This informed the Nigerian Armed Forces in upscaling its research and development to enhance soft and hardware production. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that this was the focus of the lecture delivered at the Army War College in Abuja.
In few days, these participants in the Army War College Course 6 will be completing their training. The apex institution for the Army is meant to equip personnel with skills required for strategic leadership and management of war at the time the country is confronted with evolving security challenges.
The college undoubtedly ranks among the best professional level training institutions for higher management of defense in Nigeria.
The Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation understands the threat factors in the country and urged the military authorities to step up their campaigns.
Nigeria should adopt a strategic plan with time frame, activities for self-sufficiency in defense production by leveraging local capacity that is pivoted on solid and robust STI ecosystem.
In the last 6 months, security agencies have increased the crackdown on terrorists and other criminals across the various theaters of operations.
We are not relenting in our onslaught against the terrorists, be that in the northeast, or the other criminals, bandits, kidnappers, and other violent criminals across the gamut of our nation. All this we are doing in unison with other services.
The military enjoined the public to see the task of securing the country as a collective responsibility. From the Nigerian Army War College in Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA.
The Nigerian Communications Commission's Computer Security Incident Response Team has advised users to adopt two-factor authentication to protect their Telegram accounts and not to download unknown advanced IP scanner software. This is as Ukrainian cyber experts discover an attack which uses Vida malware to steal Telegram session data, and in the absence of configured two-factor authentication and the passcode allows unauthorized access to the user's Telegram account and corporate account or network. The malware targets platforms across iOS, Android, Linux, Mac, and Windows operating systems. The report alleges that a Somnia ransomware was created to be used on Telegram that tricks users to download an installer that mimics advanced IP scanner software, which contains Vida malware. The installer infects the system with the Vida stealer, which steals the victim's Telegram session data to take control of their account. Following ongoing civil service reforms to actualize the Federal Civil Service Strategy and Implementation Plan 2021 to 2025, a sensitization workshop has been organized for staff of the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development. Ruth Agwele has more.
Aside being humanitarian actors, their capacity to deliver effectively on their mandate depends largely on performance management system, which is the reason behind this workshop, organized for staff of the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, to sensitize them on the Federal Civil Service Strategy and Implementation Plan for 2021 to 2025, a reform that is expected to make service more effective.
These reforms have been on the front burner of the Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, and directors of reforms have been charged to endeavor that the reforms are taken seriously in their various ministries, departments, and agencies.
This plan has been synchronized with the Middle-Term National Development Plan and Agenda 2050 of the present administration. The new strategy has a vision to lead a world-class service for accelerated national development.
The reform is centered around capacity building and talent management, innovation, enhanced value proposition, human resource and digitalization of content services, and these participants are expected to be the drivers. In Abuja, Ruth Aguele, NTA News.
1 million out of 3 million heads of cattle targeted for vaccination against transboundary animal diseases in Adamawa State have so far been vaccinated by the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development in collaboration with Adamawa State Ministry of Livestock and Aquaculture. Simon Ashar reports that the exercise is to mitigate the effects of transboundary animal diseases in the state and beyond.
This flag off of mass vaccination campaign against transboundary animal diseases by the Adamawa State Ministry of Livestock and Agricultural Development in conjunction with the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, among other partners, is to improve the well-being of animals, thereby mitigating the negative outcome of transboundary animal diseases in the country.
Because of the effort that the state government has been putting into this, the federal government has recognized that effort and they've been helping us a lot. They've been giving us vaccines as well free.
That is done, the rate of infection that comes from animals to human beings will be reduced to the nearest million.
Over 3 million cattle are said to be targeted and will be vaccinated on contagious bovine pleuropneumonia, CBPP, foot and mouth disease, plastic deposit ruminant, which are said to be commonly transmitted to animals from neighboring countries to the state.
Whatever the human being consumes, it is the government intention to make sure that whatever they consume is properly processed.
With this flag off, it is expected that the menace of transboundary diseases will now be better curtailed in Adamawa State and beyond. In Yola, Simon Asha, NTA News.
Next is sports update.
It is expected that the menace of transboundary diseases will now be better curtailed in Adamawa State and beyond. In Yola, Simon Asha, NTA News.
Against the 2018 finalists, Croatia in their Group F opener. Japan came from a goal down to defeat 2014 winners Germany 2-1 in their opening match. Hostilities continue Thursday with the indomitable Lions of Cameroon taking on Switzerland in Group G in an early kickoff match that will be live on NTA 11 a.m. local time. Group H encounter between the Black Stars of Ghana and Portugal will also be live on NTA at 5 p.m. Still on football, Team NTA began their title defense of the FCT Swan football competition on a bright note, winning Team AIT 3-0 on penalties after a goalless draw in the regulation time. News Agency of Nigeria spanked selected radio media 7-1, while FRCN overcame selected radio stations 4-2 on penalties.
But it was to our own advantage because we played the last game and then we're able to watch every other person from the previous edition come to this edition. It's a wonderful one, and we kudos to the organizers.
Meanwhile, preparations are at advanced stage ahead of Delta 2022 National Sports Festival due to commence in Asaba on the 28th of this month. Godfrey Nzekwo reports that residents of the host city are eager for the games to get underway.
This signboard on the roads showing that Delta is hosting and
live on your TV, computer, iPad, tablet and phone. Log on visiontv.co.uk and click on Entertainment, then NTAI. You can also download the iOS or Android app on your mobile devices to watch NTA International on the go, anywhere in the world. NTA International, your window to the world.
Daria Media, in association with Cabal Entertainment,